presentation. The topic that we have chosen for this presentation is improving Walmart checkout system. Here are our team members. I am Venkatadurga Fanindra and here is my student ID. So coming to certain acronyms and definitions that we have used throughout the presentation, the first is the walkout shopping, which means it's an automated checkout technology which requires no waiting time in long queues. And second is AI, which is an artificial intelligence. It refers to a smart technology. UI is a user interface that the customer interacts with. And checkout booths refer to self-checkout services provided by Walmart. HR is human resources. So coming to the business context of the project, Walmart has been changing the face of retail since it's opened its first store in 1962, and since then it has opened thousands of stores throughout US and also expanded internationally. And we think it currently has around 10,500 stores spread across 24 countries. It currently employs over 2.3 million associates around the world, out of which nearly 1.6 million are in the US alone. Now coming to the Walmart checkout process, it has two ways of checkout. The first is a regular checkout counter where a customer walks to the checkout counter and there will be a Walmart employee who will help scan all the items and does the checkout. The second is a self-checkout counter where a customer walks to a self-checkout counter and scans all the items by himself or herself and pays the bill and does the checkout. In both the cases, a customer has to wait in line to get to his or her checkout counter. The main objective of this project is to allow the customer to completely skip the checkout line and navigate directly towards the exit. So coming to the executive summary, we have performed research on the current provided checkout systems at Walmart, understood and explained the cost and effectiveness of the current system that is being used in the Walmart. We have performed analysis and provided an improved process to help with greater customer satisfaction. We have also provided a cost structure and control plan to deal with the probable causes. Now coming to the problem statements, we have identified that the main problem is when a customer of Walmart store needs to wait in line during checkout, which is resulting in wastage of one's precious time. On an average, for an average customer, the waiting time is around 2 to 4 minutes to reach a normal checkout or a self-checkout counter. Assuming a customer visits twice a week, it results to 8 minutes of waiting time per week, which on a yearly basis comes down to around 7 hours of time spent in a line. Now, Walmart also has to hire and train their employees to help customers during the checkout process, and now and then they have to deal with a difficult customer, which is also another issue. Though the self-checkout counters are a step in the improving the checkout process, they might also lead to a loss of revenue because once in a while a customer may intentionally or unintentionally not scan an item, and that leads to loss of revenue. So coming to the solution that we have presented to improve this process, we came up with the Just Walkout technology, using which customers can buy veggies, fruits, meat, seafood, anything in the Walmart store and put them in their basket and exit the store. There is no checkout that the customer has to go through, no waiting time, nothing. All this is done using a combination of computer vision, sensor fusion, and deep learning technologies, using which the cameras will scan the item the moment customer picks it up and places it in his or her basket and gets added to his or her account, and then will be debited using the customer's credit card. Now coming to the potential benefits, we have identified 4 customer archetypes. The first is the working professionals, which can save time and help them shop quickly and reach office or home on time. The second is the old age people, and that can help them avoid strain. And there's also standing in the line, and there is also non-English speaking people, and this helps them save the hassle of dealing with the English speaker or English self counters, and it also helps especially able people. Coming to the potential direct savings, it will save. So since time is money, with Just Walkout technology, everyone can get to save it, and it also reduces the losses by not allowing any item to leave without being scanned, and it also reduces the dependency on human resources as the company needs to hire less number of people to be at a Walmart checkout counter. There are also some indirect savings, such as customers get to enjoy an easier and faster way to shop, which is effortless, and also Walmart can use this technology to derive patterns and using the customer behavior and perform new sales strategies. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sushant Kashyap. I'll be taking you through some of the subsequent slides. Coming to the initial estimated financial plan, there were a certain list of assumptions that were kept in mind. That was scanner in the cart should be functioning well, cart should be filled only till a particular height, all the product barcodes are available in the inventory management system. A small camera captures the customer's identity while entering and exiting the store to prevent account misuse. The installed equipment on the carts are tamper-proof. So following is the list of costs that we calculated. On the left, you can see the various types of costs that we have included in the table, which is R&D cost, software cost, hardware cost, installation cost, maintenance cost, self-checkout gates cost, and security cost. We divided the entire financial year into 4 quarters, and as per these 4 quarters, we've estimated the total project cost to be 6.3 million for the quarter 1, 5.5 million for quarter 2, 3 million for quarter 3, and 2.6 million for quarter 4. Against these total project cost quarter-wise, we've also estimated the revenue, which would be 5.7 million for quarter 1, 6 million for quarter 2, 6.5 million for quarter 3, and 4 million for quarter 4, which brings out the net FYPC benefits per quarter to be minus 600,000 for quarter 1, 500,000 for quarter 2, 3.5 million for quarter 3, and 1.3 million for quarter 4. Moving on to the data collection plan. We use three methods, that is rating, customer feedback, and inventory management in order to collect data. For rating, it was done at the time of self-checkout. This happened for 2 weeks, twice per customer, and was done using the happiness index through emoji selection on digital screen. For customer feedback, after completing the purchase, this also took place for 2 months, 2 weeks, and after every customer visit via email. The third one was inventory management. This was done in store for a month at the end of the day using the scanning software. Following are certain insights that we derived out of the data that was collected. For example, frequency of purchase per customer was 3. Average items purchased per customer is 18. First time self-checkout customers per month was 200. And time spent per purchase per customer is 72 minutes. Now, moving on to handing over to Manan now.
Hello, Professor. My name is Manan Chaudhary, and here is my ID. Now I'll be presenting the processes involved and what are the steps we have taken to improve the process. First, here is the current checkout process that goes on. So the customer enters, get all the items, and enters the self-checkout queue. And then he has to wait for average of like 2 to 3 minutes every time he enters the queue. Then he goes to the booth, scan the items or the barcodes that are present on the items and or punch in the code that is present on the item. Then there comes a decision that he has to make. If he is able to punch in the barcode, then he goes to paying the bill. Else he will ask and wait for assistance from the customer service representatives, and that will take another wait of like 2 to 3 minutes every time. Then another problem arises of paying with cash. So if you have to pay with cash, there is no assistance over there on the booth. So you have to call another representative, and then you have to ask for his help to pay using cash. Then if all items are scanned successfully, you can exit the store. But if not, the beeper will run, and then you have to enter the self-checkout again, and all the process is repeated, creating a hassle and a waste of time. Now we'll provide solutions to solving the problems. First, we'll understand the problem through a cause and effect diagrams. So there are 4 major factors here: the employees, the booths, the customers, and products. So here you can see, as for example, in employees, the low frequency and employees being unskilled can cause customer dissatisfaction. For the checkout booths, if the machine is less functioning and there is no cash facility, it will also create customer dissatisfaction and long waiting times. Other customers also affect everyone, because if they are in high frequency and if they are unable to understand the interface, they will be dissatisfied. And the main reason of being the high frequency is due to people long waiting in queues. And also the last is products, that if there are stockouts or defective products and it is hard to navigate through the barcodes present on this, it will also create customer dissatisfaction and long waiting times. Next, also we are analyzing the problems here. So here we are currently analyzing what things can help for the change and what things are against our changes. So for example, the higher frequency of employees can help, where every employee can help everyone at booth. There should be like smart checkout systems that can help. and automated smart stock out alert system so that it helps as soon as there is a non-availability of items, because we can see in Walmart there are many times that a item remains for stock outs for a long period of time, so that can help. And for example of changes against, so there is no cash acceptance facility that will make this challenge more hard. There will be unskilled labors that creates problem and customer dissatisfaction, and another thing is the long waiting queues. Now we'll illustrate our idea of using a self-checkout exit where we don't have to scan anything and our smart cart works for us. So it's the same process. You enter and the first thing you have to do is connect to the Walmart network. So it creates an account that automatically bills us. It has all our credit card information. We put the items in our smart cards, then proceed directly through the checkout. So we don't have to wait, we don't have to scan any codes, and we receive a digital receipt on our application. The only downside of this is if there are any bill discrepancies, we have to wait for an assistant. So in the previous process, we have to wait for assistance like 2 to 3 times and have to wait in long queues. Here, all that problem is solved and you just can exit if the bill is right. So here we have reduced the actions that have been acting against us. So the only two things that can cause problem are we are unable to connect to network and there are misfunctioning smart cards. The other things that act for change are always in there. So traffic will be divided too for people who are not willing to connect to the network. And this interface is simple. So you just enter, connect to the app, it has all your details, and you just move out with the smart cart and it will bill you automatically. So it's a summary of whatever the improvements are made. So earlier we used to contact with the cashier, now it's contactless. You can just exit through the exit and the checkout system will all automatically bill you. So there will be zero waiting time. So it will be more profitable as we have to hire less representatives and people can focus more on solving other problems. So increased average spend, since you can't see how many items you have scanned, that will create a false image in the customer mind and they will end up buying more. So that is also advantageous for the company. This is a control plan for whatever things happen. So these are just the actions for categories like if the app breakdowns, and there are gadget inspection, regular inspections, there are employee audits to keep the efficiency of employees in checks, and whatever we should do in customer conflicts. So just give you an example, if the app breakdowns, the programmer will take the action, and whenever the app breakdowns, and will debug and try resolving it within 2 days. Now I'll pass it over to my next teammate. Thank you.
Thank you, Manan. Now I'll be taking over for the final few slides of the presentation. Beginning with the final estimated financial cost, some additional assumptions that were taken into account were sufficient number of self-checkout carts are available, membership accounts database is up to date. The following table is the list of costs that was estimated. And as per the final estimate, there was a slight increase in the total project cost for every quarter and a significant increase in the total revenue. The costs were as follows. For quarter 1, it was 6.7 million for quarter 1. For quarter 2, it was 6.1 million. For quarter 3, 4.2 million. And for quarter 4, 3.6 million. In comparison, the total revenue for each quarter was the following: 5.9 for quarter 1, 7 million for quarter 2, 7.5 million for quarter 3, and 9.2 million for quarter 4. This brought the net FYPC benefits per quarter to be minus 800,000 for quarter 1, 890,000 for quarter 2, 3.2 million for quarter 3, and 5.5 million for quarter 4. Moving on to the next slide. Some follow-up issues and the next steps to be followed. There is possibility that the app may charge for something a customer didn't buy. There are items which are charged by weight and it would be difficult to scan. Sometimes there can be a network issue and people could face problems in entering the store. Sometimes the items are kept in the wrong aisle and can be scanned wrong. So these are some issues that we'll need to further work upon in the subsequent phases. Moving on, recognition. The assignment has been a great learning curve for the team members. Brainstorming for the project has helped us learn to effectively communicate with each other and how to work as a team. It also taught us how to deal with conflicts and issues in a team and work with deadlines. Thank you so much.